What's up, guys? Rich here. Been a long time. How are you guys doing? I'm trying to get out of this real quick. Let's see here. Already problems with talking to you guys. Guys, what's up? Rich, Legacy Adventures. I wanted to reach out to you guys and let you know kind of some things that are going to happen, kind of what I've been doing and what's the situation with the channel. And something kind of happened recently that I want to just share with you guys. There's 909 of you guys left. I believe at my big time high, I was so popular, I think I got up to maybe 1,200 subscribers. I don't know, maybe not even that many. But, the 909 left are loyal or they're bots. So it's probably about 908 bots in one person, right? But anyway, you know, last video I made was in regards to how wrong I was about Yellowstone, not being the location. Kind of like how ironic it was. It was the first video that I ever made over the very first video. It's incredible. And anyway, I'll get in that a little bit later. But I meant to do this, or I started to do this as a post because when you get 1,000 subscribers, one of the cool things is you can make posts instead of the video, which I've made a few, very, very few over the past couple of years. But I started writing it out, and then I just, it was very long, wordy, and just, I thought that this would be best. So, you know, one reason why people love the Forest Fin treasure so much, and I think all of you probably that really loved it, it was because it brought everyone had a different reason they loved it, but it was just something to do with bringing them together with somebody, or you know what I'm saying, memory. It wasn't necessarily the treasure because only one guy found it, right? And Forrest warned us or said this would happen, and he was obviously correct, and he was validated multiple times during his life, you know, and it's just awesome. People getting married. You guys know all the stories. We could go on forever. And for me, um, I loved hearing those stories, right? But I never really had a huge personal one during the chase. Okay. In retrospect, I did, but I didn't know it. Okay. When I first started my channel, I remember this guy would comment religiously. He was my first fan, my only fan. Okay. And needless to say, my ego was big. I was like, "Oh man, this is awesome! This guy loves me." And he would comment on every single video. And then one day he emailed me a real long email with a solve, and he had just learned about the chase, right? So anybody, it could be a joke now that anybody that did the chase for very long, there's like a rite of passage where if you're like most of us, we would read the book, or not even we wouldn't even get the book yet. By the way, we would read an article or get on a message blog or something, and we would have it solved in 5 minutes. You know who you are. I was the same way, and oh, I wish I remember his name now. I'll remember it. I'll tell it in the next video. It was a pretty decent big time searcher at the time. He was from England. Oh, I forget his name. He was very nice to me though. I sent him a 3-page email within 30 minutes of reading everything. Of course, he was nice, but it was ridiculous. Like they hadn't thought of all those things, and that's kind of a rite of passage in the chase. So this guy that was my fan, he did that. You know what I'm saying? He wrote this long, very wonderful, and he was smart. But I went by through each line like, oh, nope, nope, nope. This is obvious, obvious, obvious. And I had a choice at that point. It's like, should I either be honest with this guy or not respond or whatever? I took the time to respond, which I did to everybody though. At that always, but him specifically. And he took it like a champ, right? Long story short, this person ended up living an hour and 10 minutes or so, give or take, south of me. Okay, so it kind of went from him being a fan of the channel to him being a friend, and like kind of a search partner in a way where we talk over text, over email, over the phone about the chase, and also we also both loved the hunt for arrowheads, and we shared that as well. We shared a lot of other things. He grew up in southern Indiana. I grew up in northern Indiana in a town called Gaston. Very similar type of youth. Same, very similar in numerous ways. um, demographically, like education wise, wealth wise. He was just kind of like a guy that I knew from school, and I think that's one reason why we had an adult friendship. And that's what I want to say is that once you get past a certain age, you guys, if you're like me, it's really hard. You don't make any new friends, and I really hadn't made any new real friends until him for years. Maybe one in my 20s when I had off work or something, but he was it. And so I really loved it. My wife is funny because like she never got a chance to meet him because it was so quick. And every time I left to go down there, she would make fun of me and say I was going to go see my boyfriend. And when I was talking to him on the phone, it was hilarious. But it was great. I met an adult friend. And I ended up we did so many arrowhead searches down in Columbus in that area, and we had big plans. You know, the thing with him is he always wanted to be on camera on uh, Legacy Adventures. He hinted at it, but he wouldn't come out and ask. Right? He's very shy, and so the plans were very much in place. And then the treasure was found, and that kind of halted things a little bit. Halted, and we had to figure out what our next move was. So that's when some of you guys know that I moved into cash hunting, which is I've taken to a whole new level that we'll talk about in a second. So we had some big plans for the channel. We were going to do a lot of cash hunts, and he was going to appear on. I'm going to give him his wish to appear on camera, and all that good stuff. Well, found out my friend passed away on April 12th of this year, and it's really affected me. And I think that it made me take a look at the chase again and the time that I spent as his friend and the things we talked about and the things we planned, and also maybe kind of look at the chase again with some new eyes or fresh eyes, I guess I should say. You know, we all went through a period of time for the past few years after it was found. It's been nuts. And if you guys were like me, I did not want to talk about it, really see anything about it. I mean, of course, I would watch the updates from a couple channels, but I just was over it. I'm saying I wasn't upset necessarily. I was just like over it, kind of over the drama that it turned into. Disappointed a little bit with the way people had acted, but overall just done with it. And with anything else, there comes a time when you can, when that time passes, you can actually enjoy reflection. And I'm to that point, ironically, and ironically, my friend passed right during that point, and so it's just interesting, I think. So this is what I want to say to you guys, like, it's made me really do a lot of reflection and what our plans were, what my plans for the channel were, and I owe it to him to give it a shot and try to grow this thing and go to these cache locations and show you guys some of the most incredible treasure hunts you're ever going to see. They're not big like the Lost Dutchman or these big ones, but they're better. They're much better. You'll get the info and kind of learn why as we go. But in honor of Seth, to start out with, what I'm going to do is, I don't know if anyone, I've not heard of anyone doing this. The VinTuber, I'm sure there's been some that have. I'm going through my videos, and I've already started, and I'm doing a brag list, like a top 5 to 10 brag list of parts of videos where I nailed it, and also the flip side to that, which is where I was so off that I might as well just quit. I tell you what, guys, not to brag, okay, but I'm going to brag a little bit. I was pretty good. And I might sound stupid for not finding the chest and being off on so many huge things, but I suggest anybody that took journals, okay, if it's the time for you, or if you did videos, to go back and listen to everything. Treasure hunting is a skill. And, it's a puzzle solving type of situation, and I have learned so much about uh, how I think and my thought process and what I was right about and what I was wrong about and kind of all that stuff. You guys are going to be amazed. And I really think you'll enjoy it. Okay, so they're not going to be too long and too detailed, and I'm not going to pat myself on the back too much. And again, there's going to be the opposite side too. But this is in honor of Seth and in honor of the chase and Forrest, and it's my personal time. It's like I want to go back and do it. It's old news for so many people. I don't care if it gets 5 views. I really don't care. It'll be interesting. I'll tell you that much. And then after that, I think we'll do 2 or 3. I'm going to do the top 10. That's right. I didn't know if I was going to do per video or just like edit it all together. Right now, my decision is to do like a edit from each video, because to go to each video and do it, I think would be a little bit too much. The only other thing I might do other than that is I might just pick a few videos and do that. And they're still only going to be 10 or 15 minutes long, but pick like the top videos where I was nailed it on the head or where I was completely wrong. But again, I've started. I've listened to 3 videos and today, and I'm just like, I can't believe it. I'm just so excited to share it with you guys. Then after that, guys, we're going to the cache thing. A lot of stuff to share. I have about 300 cache leads all across the country that I sourced from old magazines, or well, not old magazines, old newspapers. And I'm talking about stuff from early as 1840, as late as 1930. Okay, that was kind of like the sweet spot because I want to make sure it was before metal detectors. Okay, because that opens up a couple things. Namely, you could revisit spots that gold was documentedly lost and found, right? Because if they found gold there once and they had to prod every little inch of the ground, which that's how they had to do it, what do you think the odds of a couple pieces being left over the, I'm saying it with that technique, with over 300 or 400 spots? Pretty high. So I think we'll find gold 100% in these locations. But more importantly, well, the history is neat, and it's just a fun, cool way to treasure hunt. And I think it will. Once you guys really see it, I think it will. Some of you guys that have yet to, you know, basically find something to fill that void, the thrill of the chase. This might be something that you could do. I've looked at all the. I did do Cowper Dan's hunt, which I enjoyed quite a bit, but I'm just not a pay hunt guy. I just have tried. I just can't get into it. And that's okay. If that's just me. These are like Indiana Jones stuff. You know what I'm saying? You got to research it. You got to find it. And one thing I'll tell you about any of these leads, you Google search any of the people in it, the location, the amounts of gold, or whatever the story is. Not one will show up on Google. Not one. So that's how lost they are. So that's good. I mean, it's just us. So, that's it, guys. Um, if you would on this one, like and tell me what you've been doing if you see it. Please make a comment and also share it with anybody that you think might have been a fan and would enjoy a recap from somebody that really did a lot of thinking on this treasure hunt. And again, I think you guys will be. I'm not going to say you're going to be like impressed, but you guys will hear it how I heard it. Like, dang man, it's amazing how close, how far a lot of us were to finding this thing. It couldn't be any farther, but any closer at the same time. So, miss you guys, and yeah, this is for Seth. Gonna make this stuff, get it done.